we start off this journey against Chanman 787, who is an 868 ELO rating player. Now, in this game, there will be pain, there will be hardships, and there will be a lot of blunders. So here we go. E4. Now taking command with the E4 pawn, taking the white squares away. He then plays the Karo Khan. To C6. I develop my knight to C3, doing a classic Vienna, but not a Vienna because E5 and C and knight to F6 wasn't played. But that was on my mind. He then did the thing. He pushed D5, knowing that it's a Karo Khan. I don't know how the Karo Khan works, but it happens. So I develop my knight to F3, blocking this pawn from moving up and guarding my own pawn. Now he plays bishop to G4, threatening my knight for pinning my queen. Now only one thing left to do. I threaten it with my H3 pawn push. Now he could go back or sacrifice himself to the knight. He sacrificed himself for the knight. I took with my queen, now endangering this square. He moved his pawn, guarding this even more. I moved my bishop to E2, preparing for a castle of the king. Then he moved his knight to D7, not realizing a push from the E5 pawn to E4 will create a devastating tidal wave that might destroy me and my mental security at this point. But he didn't see it, for I played castling, which I could have played D4, stopping this from pushing this. But it was in my head that I should castle, since I remember telling myself it's mandatory to castle whenever you have the chance. He played he played B4, bishop to B4, threatening my knight again. And you think, what would be the best move here? I don't know also. This would be the best move set by the engine. If I take this, and if he takes, what should be my next, knight to B5. I can go here, threatening this. I'm also going here, but yeah. Anyways, so I didn't play what the engine want. We didn't play what the engine want, for we are 3 digits of an ELO. So I played A3, threatening another bishop for taking my horse. So he takes my horse. Then I retaliate with C3, now onto this pawn, for if he doesn't notice it, a rook will be going down. Then he noticed it. He pushed his pawn to F6, but doesn't develop the knight. So I put my queen back to G3, threatening still the same pawn, because why not? So he played his queen to E7, guarding this pawn. Now, next I played D3, pawn to D3, strengthening my E4 pawn. So if it gets taken, I'll take back, which is an equal trade. He castled to his queen side, now opening the rook to a file. Not an open file, but a file at least. I moved bishop to D2. I can still extend it, but I moved it to D2 so that my rooks will be connected. He takes my pawn. I then threaten his queen. Now he puts this thing here. Now, the best thing to do here right now is to bait a checkmate. I go here, threatening this rook, and if he goes here, I can take this, and if he takes my bishop, that's mate in 1. Remember that line. Remember the mate in 1 line. Now, all hell breaks loose. He pushes the C5 pawn. I got afraid. I didn't go to A5, knowing B6 is coming soon, so I put my bishop to C3, blocking the development of this pawn, or the push of the pawn. Now he takes my D3 pawn, so I retaliated with taking it with the bishop instead of this, for the bishop can now have a file, a open diagonal, as you can say. He pushes his E5 pawn, blocking the queen's vision onto the movement of the king. Now I play this, threatening the rook. Now the obvious answer here should be, for you it should be B6, but that leaves something. If I take, he takes. Basic's also good, but both is also good. It does the same job anyways. Now, I move my bishop back because I was threatened by a mere pawn. Now, this is mate in 1. The queen can now see the diagonal of the king, and if I put it here, it's game over. Now, what this did, it was a horrifying move. A very horrifying move. In my mind, I was thinking, ah, damn, the bishop, where do I put it? Do I get a check? I, I don't know. So, in my mind, if he takes the bishop, I might as well play rook to e1, not knowing mate in 1 is hanging, just like Sayori. Anyways, so I played rook to e1, even though checkmate is still there. He moved his pawn again, and that's still checkmate in 1. That's still checkmate in 1. Still check it. I hanged checkmate in 1 2 times. So, because of this pawn pushing, I saw this. I saw this. The rook is dead. I saw a dead rook, but I didn't see a dead king for some reason. That's 3 times that the maiden one was ineffectable, was unseen. So he moved his mate, still hanging mate in 1. 4 times I hanged mate in 1. And I got the rook. Now if he takes this, it's not gonna be mate in 1, where the king has a square to move on now. And that's what happened. No more mate in 1. And I saw it in the last possible second. I saw a check right here in the last possible second. It could have been checkmate. It could have been checkmate, but no. I hanged checkmate in 4 moves just for a rook. Just for a rook. I hanged checkmate in 4 moves. And now he was forced to go to that square. Now my plan was, if I go, I can now develop my a1 pawn to d1, to pinning the knight on d7. That's what I did. It's a great move set by the engine. Now he was forced to move back. I now put my bishop to b5, pinning another pin on the king. He then moves here. Now I lashed my queen to a3, checking this, checking the king. Now he got scared. I was like, ah, must block with the queen. Now this is a disaster. For this bishop can now go to c4 and now pin this queen and might as well take it in the end. So that's what I did. I saw this but not made one. How did I not even see that? No? So he now pushed his knight, knowing the queen is dead at this point. And with one swipe of my mouse, the queen dies. The queen utterly died. I mean, d rook to d7 capture knight is also good, but simplification is better. So he then moved his king, and that's a free knight. So boom, taken. Now for some reason he just gave up. I don't know why he put it there, but my bishop takes it, and he moves to g5. This game is coming to a close, and I was thinking I might as well take all of his like tier 2 to tier 3 pieces so that it will be easier for me to win. I did that, and he pushed his pawn, threatening my queen. Now I put my queen to g3 and he surrendered, knowing it was inevitable for his death. Um, that's about it. He's resigned. I'm up 22 points of material as I hanged mate in 1 in 4 goddamn moves. How am I 800? I don't even know, but at least some of my moves are still somewhat okay. Um, yeah, this is a brand new type of commentary where I like tell my chess games in somewhat of a story-driven way, and I want to see the reactions you guys have to this. If you want me to still continue story the story-based telling of these chess games rather than the review ones like before, please note me, for that'll be an amazing help. Other than that, see ya.